Assemblyman Chivukula, you're completing your first decade in the Assembly. As you look back at the last 10 years, what would you say your greatest accomplishment has been?
I have been, last few years, I've been the chairman of the Assembly Telecommunication and Utilities Committee, and I have taken particular interest in energy policy as well as the telecommunication policy with respect to cable. I was one of the people instrumental in getting the statewide video franchising law, because before we had each municipality you have to go and get the franchising. By getting the statewide video franchising, we were able to increase the competition between the various cable companies. And the energy area, I have spent the last few years, and I've been instrumental in getting the RGGI, Regional Greenhouse Gas Initiative, especially the cap and trade program, which is going to generate about $70 million or so. And we came up with the program, and that's one of my landmark legislations. Then I have worked on the solar energy and SRECs, which are the Solar Renewable Energy Certificate program, where we were able to define the targets from 2011 to 2026, not just percentages, but actual numbers in gigawatt hours, from 316 gigawatt hours to 5,300 gigawatt hours, and which has really catapulted the solar industry. And New Jersey became the hottest market in the world, and in terms of the installation, we are only second to California, but per square mile we are #1 in the nation, and I take great pride in that.
I'm going to get back to energy in a minute, but I want to turn the first question around and say, in your first 10 years, what are some of the things that maybe you wish you could have accomplished but haven't been able to in the Assembly?
Well, I think I'm a very pro-business legislator. I have been trying to promote science and technology, and I have been trying to get one particular legislation creating innovation zones, technology innovation zones in around New Jersey, 3 zones, and that legislation has been going through every session in the Assembly, and one time it went through the Senate also, some technical difficulty, and we were not able to get it to the governor's desk for signature.
Okay. Going back to energy, the governor's energy master plan has been criticized for a reduction in the goals of renewable energy. And it's gone down by about 25%. What do you think New Jersey should do to reduce the cost and the demand and the environmental impact of energy production?
Well, I think the governor actually has backtracked and has really compromised the national security by not having a sound energy policy that not only looks at the environmental impact on the state, because New Jersey has got highest number of respiratory illnesses, and so having a clean environment improves the quality of life for the citizens of New Jersey. And also we need to think about how we can come up with a real diversification of the portfolio of the energy sources. Right now we get about 52% of our energy from nuclear sources, which is clean, but question after what happened in Fukushima Daiichi, we need to really think about what is happening with respect to the safety aspects of it, post 9/11 terroristic threats with respect to nuclear plants. We need to look at that. But also I think one of the major shortcomings I look at governor's energy master plan is that it's a tremendous focus on natural gas, and his policies moving away from renewable sources. We have been a leader in terms of creating more than 26,000 jobs, green jobs, over the last few years, and because of our environmental as well as the energy policy, and not looking at the RGGI, pulling back from RGGI and reducing the renewable portfolio standard from 30% to 22.5%, and also not diversifying the fuel supply is going to create a lot of problems in the long run.
you mentioned nuclear energy. With Oyster Creek being closed in 2019, what should be done with that site?
Well, I think I have one idea, which is we do have 1100 megawatts of offshore wind energy that is being in the plan, and we will be issuing offshore wind energy, renewable energy certificates, or ORECs. And one idea I have is that since Oyster Creek site already has the substation, has the transmission lines, if we can get the we create the hub, because there is also Google backbone. It's been talked about national transmission line, DC transmission line. If we can create a hub in New Jersey connecting all the 4 different companies that are going to generate offshore wind energy, and we run an underwater DC transmission line to Oyster Creek site, and then from there we can distribute the thing. I think that is going to create tremendous opportunity and also provides economic opportunities for the township, Lacey Township.
The price of SRECs has been going down, and to the point where it's not as effective as an incentive for solar energy. Is there any other incentives that we can do as a state to promote renewable energy?
Well, I think you need to look at why the SREC prices have come down. Because of the stimulus package, and there is a 1603 cash grant program that is giving 30% cash towards solar and other renewable energy projects. A sudden surge in demand, and then because of we have not really set the alternate compliance payments beyond 2016, a number of reasons I think why the price of the SRECs have come down. So we are in the process of coming up with the legislation. I already have a legislation which I'm amending, trying to address those issues, how to stabilize the price of SRECs, so that way there is a long-term viability and we can ensure that, so that way there is a marketplace. I think we also have we need to think about how do we distribute between the behind the meter or net metering projects versus the grid supply projects. We need to look at that, and we need to optimize. For example, we have a lot of rooftop space, and we need to get an inventory of that and try to see how we can prioritize our solar installations. That will really create a lot of incentive for the solar industry.
A lot of people in New Jersey live in condominiums or townhouses where they may not have the ability to do the installation of solar panels. Is there anything going on to help them take advantage of solar energy?
Yes, there is a legislation, Assembly Bill 915, which is creates what is known as LRECs, Local Renewable Energy Collaboratives, which is working with the utilities, and the utilities will be responsible for billing and also collecting the funds, but at the same time you create what is known as a community renewable energy generators, where making use of the common space where you can generate solar or hydro energy that can be used to that will benefit the condominium or multiple dwelling homeowners.